Hello guys, nudeood here again for my second editing tutorial. I know I've only just released my first one, but I'm already getting lots of requests for the second one, and this one in particular I was going to do very soon anyway, so I thought I'd do it. And it is the stroke effect for After Effects, not Sony Vegas. And what I'm going to show you to do with it specifically is how to trace round a gun or any object and make any coloured line or really anything go around it. So I'm going to show you how to do that now. So I've opened up After Effects. I'm going to go to Control and N for a new composition. I'll just call it Stroke Tut. Make sure you're on 1280 by 720. Make sure your pixel aspect ratio is square pixels, and my frame rate I usually have at 59.94, but for the purposes of this tutorial I'll go 29.97, and 10 seconds long is fine. You can always change this later. So what I'm going to do now is do Control and I to import a video or whatever. And I'm not actually going to do it with a video, I'm going to do it with a picture, which I've already made. I went in Sony Vegas and took a screenshot and just stretch it out to fit. This effect really only works when you're using Twixtor or something, so you've got very slow footage. I just went for a still image just for the purposes of the tutorial. What you want to do now, you got your image, is do a new solid. And the shortcut for that is Control Y. You may notice I use a lot of shortcuts. They're just very helpful when you're editing. They speed you up. I'm just going to use white as the colour. Make sure you've got all your same settings as your composition. So you've got a white solid over the top of your picture. I'm going to go click the down arrow here, go to transform, opacity, and I'm just going to change it so I can see the clip underneath it. So 49%, that's looking fine. Next up, you want to go to the pen tool up here, shortcut G. Select that, and you're just going to mask around your gun. And I know I use masking a lot, but if you want to be a good editor and you don't know how to mask, you will just fail miserably, because it is probably one of the most important things about editing, and you can use it for everything really. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start masking around the gun. Remember, you can use the full stop shortcut to zoom in for more precise masking, and you can use the comma shortcut to zoom out. And if you hold spacebar, you can drag around. So what I tend to do with precise masking is zoom in quite far, well, not that far, but then drag around a lot. Right, now here when you get to the kill feed, you can basically just not bother about it, just go over the top of it. Might be quite hard to judge what's behind it, but just use your instinct. Right, now that's all done, and you'll see that's looking fine. What you can go and do now is go back to your white solid and change the opacity back to 100%. And if you go back to your arrow and click off, you'll see you've got a nice white mask there. Pretty useless at the moment. So what we're going to actually do is start the effect now. So you want to go to select your solid first. Go to Effect, Generate, Stroke. And that won't actually do anything straight away. So what you want to do is first you want to tick all masks, then you want to go to reveal original image, and you won't see much happening. So what you want to do now is start increasing the brush size until you've got a nice confident line going around your gun, and just put this to whatever size you want. I personally like about 6, but I'm going to make it a bit bigger for this. I'll go for 10. I think that looks pretty fine. And so now you're just going to keyframe this, drawing itself on and off. So if you go back down to your layer, click down, you can get rid of that now. Go to Effects Stroke, and you want to keyframe your end, put that to 0%. Then about 2 seconds in, change that to 100%. And what this will do, if I scrub through, you can see it's getting rid of it, which is pretty awesome. And yeah, that's basically how you draw it on. And if you wanted that to go back again, go to 4 seconds and change the end back to 0%, and you can see it draws itself on and it comes back again. But I don't want it to do that, even though that is quite cool. Instead, I want it to draw on, and I want the line to carry on. So I'm going to go to 2 seconds, and I'm going to keyframe start, go to 4 seconds, and put that at 100%. And now you'll see it starts, and it draws on, and then it carries on, and it draws off again, which is pretty cool. But I want that even better now. I'm just going to move where the start begins down to about 1 second, and move where it ends down to about 3 seconds, and now look what happens. It'll start disappearing whilst it's still going. And if you mess around with this, you can actually get it so you've only got a tiny little thing coming on. So like this, for example, I've moved it on quite a lot, and now I'll only have a small bit writing on. And like I say, you can move it as far as not far as you want, really, depending on the size of the thing that you want. I mean, there's a tiny little one, and it's just a really cool effect to add. Sometimes not over the whole gun, but just over a small part of the gun. Like for example, I could have just gone over the magazine here while you're reloading, and if I was using Twixtor as well, I think that'd look really cool. And also, obviously, you could go and add multiple masks and have more than one things stroking, if you want to say that, at once, and just tick all masks again. If you've got more than one mask, you want to mess around with this option, stroke sequentially, which what that'll do is if you've got, say, 2 things going at once, if you have that unchecked, it won't make a difference if you've only got one mask, but if they have it unchecked, they will both start stroking at the same time. If you have it checked, one will go before the other, and that's quite important depending on what you're trying to achieve. Because we're on reveal an original image, you don't have to mess around with the colour. It won't make any difference. If I change it to red, it will still be white, because that colour actually comes down to the colour of the solid. So if I go to layer solid settings and change this to green, bright green, you can see that now I've got a green stroke going on. So yeah, that's what you do with that, and there's nothing stopping you from, well, there's nothing stopping you from even having a green solid. You could have anything you want, really. You could have a picture, you could have a nice rainbow gradient or anything. I mean, that could look really cool. So yeah, thanks for watching, and my name is nudeood. Be sure to check out my channel if you haven't already. Like the video and subscribe to me if you think that my tutorials are helpful, and you can see all my latest edits. And on Sunday the 9th of January it is my birthday, so if you wanted to give me a really good birthday present, you could go and comment on my channel and say happy birthday, or you could subscribe or anything. So see you all soon. Peace, guys.